Hello, beautiful souls. It has been so long, too long. Many reasons why. None of them the subject of this video at this time. So, we have survived. We are surviving. We are hopefully coming to the end, but definitely coming to a bridge. And so waiting for the country to open up May 1st for some, May 15th, and up to June 1st for others. But what I am sensing and feeling even before it started opening up is the anxiety of getting back to normal, getting back to the norm, and what that might bring up for a lot of people. Like I said, is anxiety, stress, pressure, fear of missing out, extended isolation. Maybe you didn't have a lot of the epiphanies and you didn't make a lot of reconnections like a lot of people did. You realized some things about your life that weren't healthy, that weren't helpful, that has you in a place of uncertainty and confusion and frustration and loneliness. It's going to be very big. It's like if you were lonely before COVID shut down, lonely during, and then going into a period of loneliness even after everything opens back up, it's kind of like exacerbated. It's like intensified. And so that can be very overwhelming, and that can be very debilitating for someone who struggles with depression, who struggles with anxiety, or who has fallen into depression and this is new for you, and you don't have the resources or the connections to know what to do. Plus everything is not back up and running, and so you kind of find yourself alone with your thoughts. And so this is what this video is about them thoughts, about the thoughts of suicide, about the thoughts that you can't catch up, which really to me is what the thoughts of suicide have been. It's like a feeling of being too far gone or too far removed or too far apart to catch up with your visions that you have for your life, to catch up with the expectations that other people may have put on you that you have still holding on to, just to catch up with society expectations of what we should do. Considering that they just said, okay, open up, figure it out, without much consistency of instructions and assistance in the process. And so I am concerned about what that's going to do with people like myself who may have been struggling with the depression, who may have already been dealing with isolation for whatever reason, number of reasons for isolation happen. And so you're not prepared. You're not prepared to re-enter the society because you've had time alone with yourself. You've had time alone with your circumstances and your environment. And maybe you've realized that it's going to take effort and it's going to take work to change things. And so this is about giving you some thoughts, some different thoughts, in order to help you in that process. So my first thing to offer you is that You have to find hope. It's like without hope, you will not be motivated to do anything. You won't be motivated to take care of yourself. You won't be motivated to show up for others who are depending on you. You won't be motivated to show up for your responsibilities in a way that will move your vibrational scale up, to move your vibe up to more positive, and not so much for other people to be okay around you, you know, but so that you could be okay with yourself if you need to continue to be by yourself. Or you could be okay with yourself if you need to go around situations, environments that are not conducive to your well-being long term. So this is about the short term, surviving your thoughts. This is about surviving your suicidal thoughts. This is about finding hope. And so the first thing that I found that was helpful is remembrance. It's like to remember the time when you've been here before. If you are over the age of 18 and you have suffered with depression prior to 18, you have been here before. Adolescence is full of these thoughts because everything is so overwhelming and intense. So over the age of 18, you've had these thoughts before and you survived them. And you may not remember how or why you survived them and did not give in to them. But I'm going to tell you the reason why you didn't is because you found hope. It doesn't even take a lot of hope. You can say, do I have a job? Yes. Okay, I have income. That's a blessing other people don't have. So is there anything that I can do to take advantage of the fact that I have a job? Yes, you can set a budget and you can start to manage your money to take away your financial stress, which is really big for suicide, financial stress. So you can budget to find ways to move your debt needle down, to increase your experiences if you need to get out of Dodge when this is over, because honestly I feel like I need to get out of Dodge. You can prepare and plan. It doesn't take a lot. All you need is like an Excel spreadsheet or any app for budgeting. Just, you could write it down on paper, which is where I started. I started writing down every debt I had, writing down how much my checks were per week and per month, and deciding the due dates, when things need to be paid, and I went to work. You know, if you need to cut things off, cut them off. If they're not vital for your well-being, then they are just extras and you don't need those. So budgeting, something as simple as that, is an act of love. I am telling you, taking care of how you spend your money is an act of love. It relieves the uncertainty of what's available and what needs to be done, and it allows you to position yourself to not have to worry about that. Like, take that out of your mind. It's like, when I know where my money is coming from, I know how much I need. You may find that, you know what, I'm living above my means. I'm not making enough to even take care of my means. No wonder I'm stressed. And then you have a decision: second job, overtime, ask for a raise, change positions in the company, roommates. You know, consider all options to make financial stress something that you don't have to worry about. You don't have to worry about that right now. So that's if you have a job. This is the hard part. If you're one of the people who have lost their job, you've been furloughed, you're on unemployment, you got that nice cushion. Maybe for some it's a nice cushion, for others just like, this is barely even. But it's a nice cushion. Spend it wisely. Make sure that you don't get behind on things that you don't need to be behind. Basically, do not add any more stress to your life. Do not add any more financial stress to your life. So, once you, I want to talk about the people who are furloughed and who are out of work. I do have this inclination, like once everybody starts bustling and getting busy around, there's going to be people who are sick. Sadly, we lost almost 50,000 people in America. So there are positions that are going to be open. I mean, it's the truth of the matter. Not everybody who died of COVID was old. Some of them were young and they were healthy. And so there's a gap in the workforce. There's going to be opportunity realized in the medical field, especially. There's going to be opportunity there. So what I'm saying is that even though this is a bad circumstance, look for opportunities. And the opportunities that you find will provide hope for your situation, and you show up for yourself in that way, and yourself will be grateful that you shut up, honestly. And for those who are finding themselves prolonged in the job search, thankfully there are resources still available to you, and it's tough. It's still going to be tough, but it's still, possible to come out on the other side of this. Still hopeful, because thankfully we live in America, and thankfully there is unemployment benefits, and thankfully there are other resources available to you. So don't get caught up in the struggle. Like, it is going to require that you apply yourself in order to apply for these jobs whenever the position opens up. And if you're my Facebook friend, I posted interview flops that a recruiter or hiring recruiter looks for. So just make sure that you're aware of what is needed in order for you to position yourself, because you are needed. You are needed in the workforce, you are needed in the economy, you are even needed in your circle of influence. And that leads me to the second point of where to find hope. Sometimes dealing with depression, we don't think highly of ourselves. Okay. Ideally, we would want to say work on your self-esteem, work on your insecurities. However, we're talking about suicidal thoughts, and we're going to be real. And the realest thing to say is, if you do not hold yourself in a high regard right now, you're thinking of injuring yourself, you're thinking about ending your life, then find someone, think of someone, at least 3 to 5 people who, if you were no longer around, their life would be substantially changed. This is somebody who depends on you for help, someone who depends on you for love, someone who just appreciates you. When you smile at them, when you wave at them, it could be something as insignificant as that. Find someone of value to your daily, weekly, monthly life that if you were no longer there, it will create a hole in their heart. Typically, if you're someone who deals with depression or anxiety, you're not an angry, hateful, vengeful person. You're hurting. You're hurting so bad and probably carrying hurts of other people. So there's going to be somebody that your heart goes out to that you would not want to cause harm to by causing harm to yourself. I know. I think mother and children, children and parents, aunts, uncles, cousins, friends, co-workers, people that depend on you for some type of emotional connection or financial support. And this is not to add pressure to you, but it's just like, consider their loss maybe just enough to activate your empathy so that you can say, okay, I will survive, I will live for them. This is temporary. This is enough to get your hope meter, your motivation to live up. Just to get it up to where you can see over the darkness, so that you can see over the emptiness, and that you can live to see more fulfillment in life, which is what hope is about. It's about being grateful for what you have, because you have life, which is abundance. You have breath, which is abundance. And that moves me into the third way that you can find hope. I think my phone is telling me, hey, you have used up too much space. So there's many ways you can find hope. Self-expression. That brings me to this point of where my phone is running out of memory. Self-expression is a way, but science has discovered, and I found, even for myself, during some of my dark nights of the soul, that gratitude helped change the meter. It takes 2 or 3 things. And the thing is that once you start identifying things to be grateful for, even though you might not like your life right now, you're happy that you still have life, and that you may have an opportunity to change your life to a life that you enjoy and aren't looking to escape, that you don't need to escape, that you don't need to run from. So gratitude. I am grateful that I'm alive. I'm grateful that my parents are alive. I'm grateful for that my children are alive. I'm grateful for, this person. I'm grateful for music. I'm grateful for the air that I breathe. I'm grateful that my legs move, that my arm moves, that I can speak, that I can hear, that I can smell, that I can taste. These little bitty things, it's like when you say them, they're coming from an inclination in you where you know somebody who's lost it, or heard a story of someone who's lost it. I'm thankful for my limbs. You could think of many people who have lost their lives recently, many people who don't have access to their legs, soldiers, car accidents, just so many things where people have lost, and you can think, I'm grateful that I don't have that loss. So you recognize that I have something of value that I can appreciate. Let me appreciate this thing. Food, health, well-being, friends, loved ones, job. You can be thankful for that. Transportation, a place to live, a place to sleep. Just many different things. The clouds, the sky, my faith in God, whatever the case may be. Just find at least 3 to 5 or more things to be grateful for throughout the day. Anytime you feel a negative thought about this is too much, this isn't going to get better, think, I am grateful that it hasn't always been like this. I'm grateful that tomorrow's a new day. I'm grateful that I can take time and rest and think a different thought. I'm thankful that such and such said hi to me. I'm thankful that I said hi to such and such. Just find things to appreciate in the most mundane way. It will shift your mindset, and it almost becomes like a game between you and the universe, between you and God, where when you are grateful, you find more things to be grateful for. And it's almost like a gratitude is like a moment of meditation, because your mind, you can't be grateful and ungrateful at the same time. Be like, I'm grateful for life. In that moment, you are grateful for life. If the thought that follows after that is negative, in that moment, that thought is negative. The next moment, if it's grateful, that ungratefulness is no longer there. As minute as that seems, it does matter. The last thing I want to say is that to find hope, find someone else that you can help. Find someone else who may post something that they're down and depressed about, and lift them up. You're not holding yourself responsible for how they feel, but you understand. You understand more than probably anyone what it's like to feel alone, isolated, depressed, helpless, overwhelmed. And helping them actually ministers to you. You witness to yourself by the things that you say to encourage them. And you think, if I can be so kind and so nice to this person, may I also be kind and nice to myself. And then finally find ways to be nice and kind and compassionate with yourself, and understand that you didn't get here overnight. You're not going to be able to turn around overnight. But every moment of hope that you have is a moment that you give yourself of life and an opportunity for a more fulfilled life. And I'm going to check on you spiritually, vibrationally, metaphysically. And you are not alone in this struggle to overcome your suicidal thoughts. You are not alone. God is thinking of you. He has placed you in my heart, and I'm here for you.